The conditions are infinitely better than they were last night. There's no wind, there's no rain, and indeed we have a full moon, almost the colour of your shirt, Jim, and sometimes that can make certain people loopy. I mean, that's all you need for an old firm match, isn't it? But I think the most important thing is that the teams are playing, the players, full strength, at their availability. I mean, that's as good as it can get tonight.
Yeah, a lot of conjecture actually about what teams would eventually put on the pitch, but as you rightly say, almost full strength. Michael Mole's on the bench for Rangers and possibly, not quite match fit yet, and possibly a wee bit of resting him for Sunday, but otherwise strong teams.
Yeah, I think the surprises have been in the Rangers selection all the same. I mean, young Robert Malcolm playing at the age of 20. He was 20 in November, so it's going to be a big strain on him tonight.
Well, I think all season it would be harder to predict the Rangers line-up than Celtic actually. Celtic have been very settled.
Well, here's a team, and this gives you an idea. I mean, there's solidity right in the heart of that team, and I think that's a big change from last season.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of enforced changes obviously with Robert Douglas and Agat suspended, and obviously Jonathan Gould and Jackie McNamara I think are going to that right hand side, but it's the same formation as Celtic have played all season, and a very settled side.
Well, then it is, that's Mjallby, Vega and Boyd at the back. There was McNamara and Thompson pushing down the flank. Thompson's crosses from the touchline are superb.
Yeah, his delivery both in open play and from set pieces actually have been a source of goals for Celtic this season.
Well, there's a debate about how Rangers would actually shape the side. It could be 4 at the back or 3 at the back. 3 at the back at Albertz was successful for them.
In the 5-1 game they played.
In the 5-1 game, yeah.
I mean, I certainly wouldn't hazard a guess as to how they'll go tonight. We need to wait and see when the game starts, but my money would be on a back 3 with Malcolm, Wilson and Konterman playing there. A big test for Malcolm, and obviously Wilson's still relatively young, playing against strikers of the calibre of Larsson and Sutton.
Well, there they are in the tunnel, the little mascots down there with them. Nerve-wracking time, even for the most experienced players coming into this cauldron, which rebounds, I have to say, with the traditional hatreds which you would like to see out of the game, but I think it's just durable to the point of not being able to extinguish at all. We've had the full panoply of hatreds bouncing back and forward from the start of the supporters coming into the stadium. And I think anybody who feels that these players will hold back because of the importance of the fixture on Sunday really don't understand this fixture, where the sight of each other's jerseys makes the pulse race. And indeed, the one thing, they are playing in front of a very critical audience. They cannot let the support down, Billy.
Well, I mean, I don't remember an old firm game being talked down so much actually, but you just hear that noise in the background. It certainly will be talked down among the supporters. They might concede that the league game is the more important of the 2 games, but this is a game that's been played tonight and they'll be desperate to win it.
One of the assumptions which I think is insulting to Kamara is that this is the final in itself. Well, we saw how Kamara played last night, so whoever wins tonight, they're going to get a game in the final.
Well, Bobby was a bit prickly in the interview after the game, I think, when asked if he coming back to Hampden. They'll certainly not be there to make up the numbers, but an old firm game, as you said before, stands in its own actually, whether it's a semi-final or final, and obviously the prize of a final, it's all to play for.
And there is 45-year-old Willie Young. Willie Young is the only referee to have sent off Ali McCoy. I think he puts that as a distinction in his record. Walk that one out. But you don't mess about with Willie. Listen to that roar in the background, and there is Robert Malcolm, as I said, 20 last November, and throwing a youngster into this cauldron, of course, is a big test, not only for his temperament but for the judgment of the manager as well, with Rickson on the bench. Rickson, who was taken apart, as everybody knows now, by Bobby Petter at Celtic Park, and I doubt very much if he's really recovered from that. Well, if you're installed as favourites in Celtic are, sometimes people think traditionally it's a kiss of death in this picture. But by and large, looking over the records, I think these games go very largely, more often than not, to form itself as Flo starts the game for Rangers, and Scott Wilson driving it away forward. We should not forget at the same time, Billy, the players who might conceivably have been playing in this game, but of course are injured on either side.
Yeah, but I don't think that'll be to the detriment of the game. Actually, there's enough quality on the pitch to give us a quality 90 minutes. interesting early on that the debate about the back four or the back three for Rangers is certainly a three, and almost as significant as Neil McCann playing as a front player alongside Tory Andre Flo.
Well, at that stage you would think Dick Advocat would need a local anaesthetic for a little smile on his face. He's very grim looking. Work forward there to Jonathan Gould. Well, Martin O'Neill's a dynamic character, but very composed at the moment. Larsson trying again for that, and that's a free kick. Reyna eventually conceding that. Absolutely deadly. I mean, he can make goals look so simple, and yet many of the goals he scores are far from simple.
Oh, most definitely. Actually, that's a sign of a quality finisher when he can make them look simple, but it looks as if he's going to be trying to add to his tally here with this free kick.
Rangers trying to make the line right on the edge of the box. The forward there, in low there. Thompson came forward for that. Ferguson tried to make the break. Tommy Boyd at the back for Celtic. That's a slag ball inside. Malcolm just got his head to that. Now we talked about Thompson sending balls in from the touchline. That was a good tackle. Nervy ball forward there by Tugay. Vega is up. Lennon going in hard. And Tugay getting an example of the determination of this Celtic side. Stabbed away. Here's Bill McCann. Remember, he played through the middle at Celtic Park a couple of years ago. Outside a foot tackle, and that is a free kick. Konterman conceding it. This could be a good position for Celtic.
What a strange passage of play that was, Archie. Lots of bodies in a wee tight area there, and eventually the ball hit Willie Young and broke into the path of the Celtic player, who fed it to Larsson, and quite rightly it was given as a free kick, but obviously Celtic getting the break there off the referee.
Anyway, Thompson is quite lethal at times with this left foot of his. Certainly might go for it himself. Puts that in well. Celtic still with the pressure on. Thompson again. Trying to put that forward and put out there to Albertz. Rangers on the break. Puts it inside beautifully to Tugay. Lovely sweeping move by Rangers. Torrandry full going into the middle. There's Ferguson with it. Good run from midfield by Barry Ferguson. Saw the danger or the opportunity there, and he was in like a flash.
Great break by Rangers there. It was a good pass out to Neil McCann. Only one thing in his mind to try and get a cross into the penalty box. And I think Jonathan Gould will be quite happy to get a touch this early in the game, Archie.
There's Ferguson, Lennon with him. Well, Stephen Klos not the most adroit with his feet when the ball is played back to him. Free kick though. In the middle of midfield. Got that one out. Almost like an orchestral conductor. There's the gentleman he's after for that. Vega up again. Albertz goes for this. Now on to McCann. He's on his own now. Albertz. There's Ferguson. Better possession by Rangers there in midfield. Konterman. Robert Malcolm. Decent enough ball forward. Yeah, it's good support there by Lennon. Vega made the stop, and then came Lennon. No free kick, good tackle by Boyd. McNamara. Easy one there. There's McCann. Mjallby. That might be skidding away there. No, I think the referee's given the free kick right on the touchline. Sutton taken from the back.
I think it's been a typical start to an Old Firm game. A few robust challenges. And William, I think, has refereed as sensibly as anybody this season, in this day and age when we seem to have a rash of red and yellow cards. And I hope tonight that he referees it just as sensible.
Thompson again. That's a vicious looking one off the bar, and that's it. Vega comes up there, gets his head to it. And Sutton puts the ball in the back of the net. The Celtic end erupts. Good work by Vega initially. There's the header off the bar, and Sutton, nobody covering him. Celtic are 1-up.
It's typical Celtic this season, Archie. A real physical presence from set pieces. Bring on Vega, probably the biggest guy on the side. Gets up well, gets a header off the crossbar. Klos actually got a touch to it, but that's a magnificent finish by Sutton. He's fallen backwards, and he still manages to keep the ball down and put it high into the net.
Malcolm. Free kick again. Good anticipation by Sutton for the goal. Vega doing 90% of the work there. Easily out jumping Konterman Klos. I think a push there. Free kick. You just felt that was coming. You know, the number of balls that had floated into that Rangers penalty area, especially from Thompson.
I think the problem for anybody playing Celtic just now, Archie, is that it's who to pick up. I mean, Vega,
Klos offside.
Vega, Mjallby, Larsson, Sutton are all capable of scoring, have scored from set pieces this season. So it was Tory Andrew Flo that ended up picking up.
He didn't do it particularly well, did he?
He picked him up like centre forward back in his own penalty box, and the Celtic have got the reward for that.
Larsson got the touch. Here's Ferguson. On the far side, Numan. Celtic supporters in full chorus at the moment, not surprisingly. Camera panning round, an ecstatic support at the moment. Here's Tugay. There goes Numan. Has to play it with that left foot of his. Very rarely turns inside to the right. Flo again beaten in the air. Sutton lays it off. Thompson, good tackle there by Ferguson. Had to get in very quickly. Strength of Sutton again, Malcolm with him. And that's a goal kick. What very hard. Very much a physical player. I mean, as a target man, he can shove players, defenders about and drag them all over the place.
You mentioned Numan passing the ball back there, and really Larsson and Sutton, for all their quality, they still work as hard as any front pairing, and they put defenders under pressure.
Back to Konterman. Mjallby tries to go in there. Well, early days, but that point I made about this Celtic side's solidity, I mean, it has been exemplified in this opening 10 minutes. look that bit more stable. Reyna. Here's Konterman. Mjallby had come right behind, making it difficult for McCann to get a first touch. Malcolm. Rangers not linking all that well from back to front. There's Sutton. Lambert. Paul Lambert back from that long lie-off with injury. There's Sutton doing a bit of nudging that time. Well, the referee seeing that from about 20 yards away. Rangers trying to play it patiently enough at the back, but at the same time you get the feeling they're not all that sure of what to do with it. Here's Tugay. Hesitation there by Malcolm. Reyna had to come back for it. That's that indecision I was talking about.
The problem for Rangers is the back. They've obviously been rocked by that start to Celtic getting the goal, but the back three are all really out-and-out defenders. But there's an onus on them to go wide and take the ball. The two flank players, Reyna and Numan at the moment, have been forced so far back into their own territory. And the midfield is congested as well, actually. It's difficult to get balls through to front players, but they really need to come and make themselves available.
Take it down there to Flo. Nice outside of foot pass, Numan. Up it goes then again. Ferguson was in on it. It's a corner kick. Excellent defensive work there again by Paul Lambert, sensing the danger and in quickly.
That's the type of unfussy work that Paul Lambert does that sometimes goes unnoticed. They get back in there, track the run, and a good defensive header.
Albertz to take this. There's Flo out there, nobody at the back. Tom Boyd gets there first. Gritty determination. You could read that all over his face as he went for that ball. Konterman just edging his way forward, waiting for somebody to run forward. Well, the first touch of one or two of these players up front for Rangers, not good enough. It's got to be sharp. Petrov unavailable for Sunday, but very much in the thick of the action tonight. Picked up by Albertz. More pressure by Rangers here. Numan almost gave it away there. There's Albertz. Celtic allowing Rangers possession here because they're going across from left to right. Not any penetration at all. And in fact, Celtic win the throw. Now that's about 8 or 9 passes going nowhere. On that far side, Petrov doing a real power of work. Konterman just getting in. Tell you what, it looked to me as if Larsson was just getting on the other side of him. Jackie McNamara, as usual, he'll be full of running up and down the right hand side. Sutton. Numan gets it away, then Wilson. Big play by Rangers, Tugay. Bad pass forward, it looked very promising. And Tugay certainly hasn't got in this game yet.
No, at the moment it's the two Rangers front players who are not really doing their job in terms of holding the ball up whenever they do get the ball through to them. In the last couple of minutes, Rangers have managed to get themselves up the pitch a wee bit further, and the front two have got to push Celtic back a wee bit and get near the Celtic goal.
Here's Tugay. Looking for Malcolm on his side, almost cut off there by Larsson. He wasn't very far away from that. Really does have the ability to leap up. Now that's a good move by Ferguson. Here's McCann. Really. And he has to fight back for a free kick. Well, rather symptomatic of the way Rangers have been playing. Getting themselves into a maze and confused, and here was McCann giving away ridiculously.
The difference here was Robert Malcolm taking the ball forward into the Celtic territory and finding Barry Ferguson with a good pass.
Well, there's, I think, the referee is saying that's the second goal. Larsson follows through and gets the second goal as a youngster, Robert Malcolm, was left stranded there on his own against the most lethal attacker in the United Kingdom, and he got in such a tangle. Perfectly correct decision by the referee. Well, he could have bust the net at the end there, but all he needed to do was take it there and then touch it in. Rangers woefully exposed in defence.
Well, we spoke about Henrik Larsson's work rate. I think there we talk about his determination and then his composure, just to have the presence of mind to lob it over Klos's head. He knows he's got all the time in the world to put it into the empty nets. It's an absolutely fantastic start for Celtic.
Well, the youngster was found to be very vulnerable there, though, Billy.
Well, I mean, I think it's very difficult coming into your first Old Firm game, and you know, especially when you lose an early goal like that.
He's looking very nervy, the youngster. Here's Klos. Now Reyna. This is where Rangers are getting tied up and losing possession. Referee waving on play. Sutton almost taking the ball now. Now here's Ferguson. Numan. Flow. Again, forced to go across the field like that. Malcolm. Well, that was certainly meant for Flow, but the passes forward like that simply not coming off. And this man is going berserk. No wonder.
We spoke about the solidity of Celtic in the formation, and really we're seeing that there's just no gaps for Rangers to play the forward passes that they need to get back into this game.
Neat play by Reyna. Yes, that'll be a free kick. And the referee, I think, will have a gentle word with him, and nothing much more than that. Solid tackle there by Lennon, to say the least. Here's Flow. Reyna try to go on the outside, and look at the way Tommy Boyd can read these situations so well. The veteran in the side with good vision, good understanding, and he can plug the gap so well.
It's important when that left wing back is being taken on there, that the left centre back, Tommy Boyd in that case, gives him cover, and he did it superbly there.
That's a free kick, surely. As Rangers losing a lot of the 50-50 challenges. Sutton brought down there, back, helping out, defending deep. Well, remember, we have this competition, man of the match. The number to ring, Billy will be making his selection later in the game. 09 009 115500 09 009 115500, and remember we're on the web at scottsport.co.uk. Wilson. Konterman. Celtic really taking command of this game. Sutton running off his man. And Numan read that all right. Skill kick.
I think that's a feature of recent Old Firm games. You talk of Celtic being totally in command, and they are, and they've now got the 2 goals to show their superiority, but that has been the case in recent games, that the team that isn't top does get it reflected in the scoreline.
Little touch there by Albertz. Well, Celtic supporters really enjoyed this. Played out there by Flo. Well, Torandri Flo, big, tall, lanky fella, of course, and just once or twice in this game, the legs don't seem to be coordinated. There's pushing there, free kick to Rangers. Tugay. Larsson not letting Konterman settle down with the ball there. Wilson just getting away with it. Numan. There's Konterman in the clear. Flo. Tommy Boy gets them again. And Celtic clear it up neatly. Lennon had to do that one. Really under pressure there. Albertz missing out. Petrov on the run. Lennon. Well, they're coping with this and making it look almost ridiculously easy. Well, free kick that time. Larsson knew what he was doing. No complaint from him. Leaning back.
It's a difficult situation for the team that are behind in an Old Firm game to chase the game so early. But what Rangers need to do is start to get at Celtic a wee bit and make sure that they're concentrating in a defensive sense and make sure that Celtic are not going to get any more chances on the break.
There's going to be a free kick for that one though. There's Vega in very hard, twisting round, 6'3", Swiss international. Oh, a lot of Spurs supporters were glad to see the back of him actually. They used to tell me that, but I'll tell you what, he settled in very well. Here's Tugay. Ferguson has to play it wide again though. Reyna. Malcolm. Yes, good clean tackle by Lambert. There's Larsson. Numan stepped in very smartly that time though. Flo. Notice how McCann's going to wait to the left touchline. There he is again. Slipping at the vital moment. Referee says no free kick. Larsson almost slipping away there, and there was a final touch by Wilson, and that's how difficult and elusive this player can be.
An important touch it was too. He does that so often, Larsson, when he gets into the wide area, just steps over the ball, sells a dummy, and he's off and running, and Scott Wilson just got that crucial touch there where he was off again.
to Mjallby. Standing there. Look at the work that Petrov is putting in there amongst the cluster of players, getting his eye on the ball and getting it to it quickly. Sutton. Well, Reyna read that one. Had to get back very quickly. Almost playing in that right back position. Tugay. Arthur Numan's seen a lot of the ball on that side. Here's McCann. McCann again, and the ball ending up halfway inside their own half.
Well, they are stringing a few passes together, Rangers, but it needs to be done with a bit more purpose. They're not actually starting to probe and ask questions of the Celtic defence.
Well, I saw a lot of this in the Champions League from them, Billy, against many a team. They had a lot of possession, but in that area of the field without making any great penetration. However, here's Malcolm, now to Tugay. How quickly that was read by Petrov again. Well, led behind, that's unlike him. Numan. There's Tugay. Not really asserted himself in his game. Now Malcolm. Flo. Managed to get round that time. Giving it to Reyna. Still they have to move back the way. Well, Ferguson was running out of ideas and now he's arguing with somebody downfield. Very poor ball forward and an obvious one. That'll be easily read by that defence.
Yeah, but when Barry Ferguson's patrolling with the ball at his feet there, he's got 10 Celtic or 9 Celtic outfield players in front of him. And really there needs to be better movement between the Rangers midfield and front players to offer him some sort of pass.
Here's Numan again. McCann almost getting to it. Good play by Albertz. Tugay. Puts it towards McCann. That's going to be too much though. I think McCann was very static though. I mean, he should have taken off a little sooner for that.
A bit more promising for Rangers there. He did manage to work the ball in the middle of the pitch and got Neil McCann onto the last man there, and just a wee bit too much on the pass, but that certainly is a bit more promising for Rangers. The thing about Neil McCann is that he's been very effective in some of the games that he's played against Celtic as a front player, and it's mainly been at Celtic Park, and Rangers haven't been chasing the game, so this is a situation that really doesn't suit him.
It's McCann again. Yes, he'll get the free kick out of it, quickly taken. Now Tugay.
Celtic are doing that tremendously well. They're getting so many bodies round about the ball, and it's almost impossible for the Rangers player to lift his head and play any kind of forward pass.
Mark, in a game like this at Hampden Park against their old rivals, it's something of a luxury to be 2 goals up at this stage. I mean, they can do that. There's Gould. Well, I think it's against Larsson this time, backing in. Wilson was certainly with him, very close. Here's Malcolm. That young lad looks very nervous now. Konterman. Tugay. It's going back to the goalkeeper. The whole shape of this game is that Celtic have taken the lead and now seem to be squeezing the life out of this Rangers midfield, almost suffocating them. Cannot get going. There's a run forward by Reyna. Watch Vega coming over to this. That's a decent ball inside. Not very well taken there by the goalkeeper, I must say, but nobody coming up in support for Rangers. Better movement there. That's the kind of play you felt they needed.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that in this situation is Rangers are doing all the work on the ball. Celtic are quite content to sit there. So when they get somebody in behind, as Reyna did there, and it was a super cross, didn't have the legs to get the bodies into the penalty box to attack it.
That's a good ball by Albertz. Numan's ball is in there. Once again, Ferguson got into the box. Henry Flo just lying that little bit too far back to make any contact. Numan did get the final tackle in.
Two good crosses from either side there from Rangers, maybe starting to make a wee bit more of an impression on the Celtic back division.
They're the goal scorers, Sutton and Larsson. Taken by Tugay. Lennon coming in to break that up. Well, there's no doubt about it that some of Rangers' play in midfield has been decorative and very neat, but it's the penetration they've been lacking so far. There we go again. Here's Albertz. Run by McCann, turned very well on it. Numan coming in on it. And yet again, there always seems to be that supplementary Celtic player just adding his foot to it. Konterman. Well, he had somebody behind him. I think it might even have been better for him if he had left or missed it. Wilson was giving him support at the back.
A bit of communication there, you're right, a bit of communication, and you can let that go through. Konterman and Wilson can shepherd it back to the goalkeeper.
McNamara with it. Back to Ferguson. Flo. So tight across there. Rangers open it out well. Tugay. Yes, there's McCann. Oh, a poor ball inside. The Rangers players were screaming for it. I must say Ferguson has been making great runs. And that's, I think that's, the manager's always had a little question mark against him for his finishing like that.
Well, so often you can make that accusation of winners that they don't, put in the proper type of service after doing some good work. And Neil McCann, once he took the touch there, I felt he maybe should even have gone on and had a shot himself.
That's played only to Albertz now. Now Tugay, little chip forward to Ferguson. Not a bad effort by Tugay that time. At least the pass was from back to front and beyond the defence.
It was good play. Tugay, a lovely subtle flick in there, just a wee bit heavy, but Barry Ferguson's now starting to get into the Celtic penalty box. And if you remember, he was the man that started off the goals right at Albertz in the 5-1 game. So, that's something that I think Rangers need. They need him to be driving into that penalty box.
Sutton getting the touch. Wilson to Numan. Up towards Flo. Vega once again beating him in the air. There's McCann doing very well again. Yes, looks as if that will be a free kick. Might even be a booking. The referee was reaching out, and it is. Jackie McNamara gets a yellow card.
No, I think having lost the ball, Jackie McNamara, he was intent on making sure that Rangers didn't make anything of it, and just a wee bit over enthusiastic in that challenge. And I think at this stage in the game, the referee would be looking just to make a booking, to make sure that it doesn't get out of hand, and Jackie McNamara is the one that's suffered.
So there he is in the defensive wall. Albertz to take it. Celtic players will be delighted he couldn't possibly drive in one of his specials from here. At least I don't think so. A lot of curve in it. Sutton had come back though. Here's Reyna. Now Tugay. Celtic hemmed in at the moment. Rangers with lots of possession. Albertz, better ball. Ferguson. Forced across there now. McCann. Flo going for this. Killed it beautifully. Who's in there? Malcolm came across, and good defending by Sutton, who'd come all the way down, and this is much more encouraging for Rangers. No doubt about that.
I think you see the difference between Sutton and Tory Andrew Flo at the Celtic goal. He knew exactly what he was doing there, used his body.
Yes, touched away by Mjallby this time. Malcolm is up. And a penalty given, I think. Wilson brought down, penalty to Rangers. The Celtic players are complaining. There was a pool as Willie Young was demonstrating there. And such a tangle of players. Now Vega was in it, and now he raised his hands in innocence there, Billy.
We've seen the replay there, Archie. It's one of those ones that the referee's right on the spot, and he's decided it's a penalty.
So, Albertz. That's it. Back to 2-1. And Rangers are back in this game, much to the annoyance of Gould. And now the Rangers support have something at long last to cheer about. Now they had a lot of possession before this.
Now George Albertz doesn't often miss, and he's stuck that away beautifully. And I see him gesticulating to the Rangers fans there for more encouragement, and I don't think he needs to worry about that. They're now back in the game, and it's a reward for their industry and a bit more incisiveness in the last 10 minutes.
Well, they had clearly much more possession. It'll take a lot to get this gentleman in a more exhilarated state. Well, the youngster very cool there. I wonder if Celtic will be emboldened now to push out and get another one here. I mean, they looked comfortable for a great part of that time that Rangers had possession.
Well, I think they'd settled into a pattern where with a 2-0 lead, they were going to be quite happy to just sit and make sure the Rangers didn't get in behind them and look to hit them on the break. But you know, a goal always changes the complexity of any game, and even though it's just reduced the deficit for Rangers, you know, they've got a terrific lift from it.
Reyna. Yes, he couldn't turn properly.
But we'd actually mentioned earlier on about the way Celtic had got so many bodies round the ball, and that was what happened in the case of the penalty there. And that's the type of thing that I think a referee would always give in the middle of the pitch, but sometimes in the penalty box, you know, maybe defenders get away with a wee bit more, but not on that occasion.
Here's Konterman. Not a single Celtic player near him this time. There it goes to Malcolm. He took that nervously again. Reyna tries to go for it. Boyd. I think the referee saying that was, well, there's a Ranger support there. I think the referee is saying, in fact, that was a free kick. Yes, indeed it is. Torrandry Flo lifting his boot up too high.
I think actually Mark O'Neill's still remonstrating about the penalty decision there, and Willie Young telling him, I think, to have a look at the TV replays.
Low. Oh, it's great tackling by Lambert again. Vega. Konterman plays it safe. On to McCann. Tugay. Well, there's a lot of tussling going off the ball at the moment. A good play by Rangers this time. Malcolm onto Flo, drags Vega with him. This will be a cross, it's too near the goalkeeper, and he didn't like it though. Here's Numan in again. And McCann put it to absolutely nobody. In comes Sutton. Gets it back to Mjallby. And this time, the referee's waving way on and then pointing across there. I think it's only a throw. I think the Celtic players, let's see, what has he given here? The free kick eventually.
I think those type of challenges, the referee can sometimes give it both ways. On this occasion, he's felt that Scott Wilson, I think it was, has come right over the top of Larsson and prevented him from going for the ball.
There's the man of the match, number 09009 11 550 09009 115500. There's a run forward by McCann.
Actually, McCann might have been better served where the pass was eventually put up inside Vega. He hung out on his right hand side there. Obviously Barry Ferguson, I think it was looking for him to get across him, because if he did, he was right in.
Tugay. Running near half time now. I'll say after that little slip he had against Larsson, that was very cool indeed. McCann again late, setting off after that. Mjallby read it quickly though. Here's Ferguson. Flow. Really in a bit of a tangle again here with Vega. Free kick. Just for a moment I thought he was going to lose it himself. There's McCann. Did well. Still going McCann. And Mjallby recovers though.
For such a big man, Flo, it's not body strength that protects the ball, it's really manipulating the ball between his feet. He's got terrific feet for such a big lad, and he invites people to come in and make the challenge, and then he gets away with the ball.
No free kick. And there, I think this is going to be a booking. Yes, Reyna. We've seen that very determined look of Willie Young already earlier on, but he gave that penalty kick, standing up to the protests. So they should not waste their breaths about that one. Yellow card for Reyna. There's a tackle coming in there. That's the one on Flo to start off with, and Reyna very, very late with that. And Lambert is still recovering. I think he'll be all right. He's just gone off, taking that little statutory interval they have to take now.
It's quite amazing. I mean, all the talk before the game, but here we are wrapped up in a really enthralling match.
Free kick against Sutton.
You've got players putting in tackles like that, you've got managers right out the touchline getting involved. I don't think anybody could say that they're taking this game lightly.
Well, 3 goals in an Old Firm match in the first half by any standards, especially at Hampden Park. Oh, there's a good run by Ferguson. Vega read it. Now picked up by Lambert. Really has recovered, and Reyna went in. He went in after the ball though, I think. Now Ferguson is coming across to try and get Reyna away. Here's the challenge. Yes, he went for the ball.
He made contact with the ball, and therefore it's a fair tackle, but he's been really silly if he thinks he can go and remonstrate with Paul Lambert, I think it was, when he's already on a booking, Claudia Reyna, because in this type of atmosphere he can find himself sitting in the dressing room very shortly.
Well, here's the action again. This is him coming in from the back. He stretches out there for the ball. There's no doubt about it. He went in after the ball there. And Lambert the space of a couple of minutes. First of all, he took that hard contact and then that very hard fall there. And I think the referee is going to restart the game virtually on the halfway line in that centre circle there as Lambert trudges very painfully off.
Well, he's just come back from injury, and you know, he'll be very wary of any challenges and any knocks on that ankle, and looks as if he's going to be okay to come back on.
Back he comes as Tugay picks us up. Yes, that's a free kick. Lennon clumsy and no more than that. As he realised he wasn't getting it by foot, and taking Henry Flo out of the action. Albertz. Petrov can't get out of the way. Well, you know, Rangers, although we had said a lot of the midfield play was ineffectual, they really have built up an enormous degree of possession in midfield after that second Celtic goal.
Well, that's what it's done. Actually, it's rehabilitated them really. Although they weren't threatening, they got a wee spell of possession. Then they started to make inroads in towards the Celtic defence, and of course, with the penalty kick, they've managed to reduce the deficit to 2-1 now.
With Reyna to Flo. Looking again a little bit cumbersome. Konterman. Flo. Youngster comes forward as the half-time whistle goes. Just over 2 minutes of stoppage time there. A very eventful game indeed. Celtic with a blistering start, 2 goals up. Excellent first goal. Second goal, it was a tragedy for the youngster getting in a tangle with, and I think words must have been spoken, and Tugay seemed to lose his head there, being placated, or at least an attempt to placate him by Numan. Well, he's a man of experience, and he knows that you know, you get involved with anything like that, you're always going to be a loser. Doesn't matter how much you feel justified. Well, eventful right to the end, even after the whistle there.
Paul Lambert actually that he got involved with, and a lot of words there, and obviously a very emotional character, but a terrific first half, and I'm really quite amazed by the way that we keep seeing goals of plenty in Old Firm games.
Well, I wonder if Dick Advocaat said to himself, we can't have that explosive little Turk back in the field again. He really looked very annoyed there when he went off. The substitution just let me confirm that Alan Johnson is on the pitch right at this moment in time, and he's replacing Tugay, and of course Jackie McNamara is off, and we've got a Celtic substitution in Bobby Petter. Not maybe surprising, Billy.
No, I think Tugay, as we saw going off the pitch, actually was really quite irate, and you know, it gives Dick Advocaat the chance to put on another attacking player in Alan Johnson, and I think that will mean a change in shape for Rangers, and tells me that they're really going to be going for it in the second half.
Well, Paul Lambert, little blow the cheeks there. He had it hard in that last 10 minutes. He was yellow carded in the tunnel, and if that little walk to the tunnel is an indication, a precursor of what we'll see in the next 45 minutes, they should be explosive to say the least. Played out there. Try to get that into Flo, and he takes it down. Vega's with him. Big fellow who caused consternation right at the start in that Rangers defence with his height and power and jumping ability in the air. Lennon. That's a good tackle by Wilson. Here's Albertz. Still Albertz. Thompson had gone back with him. Ferguson. Reyna. Alan Johnson running into trouble. Too many Celtic players clustered round him there. Where goes Lennon? Now Petter getting his first touch and realising the danger and what this man did to tear Rangers to shreds in that game at Celtic Park early in the season. Ferguson right across and hard in. Lennon. Oh, that's wild by Konterman, and he'll get a booking for that. Sutton wanted to remonstrate with him, and the sheer pace of that man caused a really shocking mistiming. The yellow card is certainly there, but I think more disturbingly, Petrov is taking the time to get to his feet here. There was a lovely flick inside, typically there by Henrik Larsson.
I think it was well worth a booking. It was a mistimed tackle, nothing malicious in it, but a heavy one at that, and I think Bobby Petrov's obviously feeling the effects of that.
Well, either the knock or the way he landed, I think probably the initial knock.
Well, I think he did actually have a chance to see it coming, and he jumped a few feet in the air, and as you say, it may be that he's landed a wee bit awkwardly.
There's the substitution of Tugay as this ball is played in there and almost over again. The man we mentioned there, Vega, 6'3", built like an Alp himself, the Swiss international, going up again, and that was fragile defensive work by Rangers again.
I think you can see by his reaction when he ran back after that he knows that was a gilt-edged chance and he should have scored.
And who was behind him?
Yeah, once again, Flo, yeah. Interesting that from Numan was away in deep and playing him onside there, because if he'd been up a wee bit he would have run into an offside position.
Well, Johnson. Well, that's the sort of ball he should have played in the first instance. Seemed to hesitate far too long.
I think that's indicative of a fresh player coming on to at the frenzy of an Old Firm game and needing a wee 5 minutes just to settle down.
Go to Rangers. Here's Flo. Reyna. It's very tight across there again. Johnson trying to get into the flow. Vega gets there. Albertz can't get away with it. Well, the referee telling the Celtic player to get up. Petrov went down there. He was caught. Well, I think he made a meal of that, to be honest. Good decision by the referee that time. Konterman away. They're down by Reyna. Ferguson. Now Wilson. And to McCann. Not well enough away by Mjallby. Rangers again mounting with possession in midfield. Johnson. Reyna. There's Flo. Oh, just stumbled again. Well, he doesn't seem sharp enough for a game like this.
He took the challenge, but it really was a slip more than anything else, and it is slippy conditions out there.
Thompson again. Got that away well. Ferguson. Now Albertz. Trying to get that to McCann to play back to him. Didn't make it. Rangers mounting the pressure again. Here's McCann. Once again a prudish ball. Beautifully set up there by Numan, and Mjallby with that rather grim expression there, getting in the way. It's had a great season for his club. Albertz with it. Just touched there by Wilson. With Johnson. Just got that away, Malcolm. Tackling is very tight. Sharp, incisive in midfield. That's a beautiful little ball through to Numan. He's away on the outside. He can't get it over. That's a beautiful move by the Rangers vice-captain there. Much more typical of Arthur Newman's play to get away from defenders like that. He hit it just a little bit too fast.
I think that's a strong point of his game. He really is so incisive when he gets into that last third. It was a terrific run into the inside left position. Good pass for him. He knew Vega, I think it was coming towards him. Just knocked it by him to get in behind, but just too far in front of him.
Good play there by McCann. Held on to it well. That's a good ball to Johnson as well. Good play by Rangers this time. Good start to the second half. Disappointing ending to that though. Thompson touches it away. I suppose it's all very well having possession there, but the final ball is so vital.
Final ball definitely let him down there, Alan Johnson. It was good, a good run to get into that outside left position, and being a natural winger, you would have expected a better cross. He really needs to beat the first defender with that type of ball.
Yes, you could say that was late. Well, George Albertz, maybe surprising many people that he's actually playing this game. He had a plaster on his ankle not so very long ago. With a very good recovery. Here's Numan. Mjallby to take it. Put away by Malcolm. Good touch in the air there. For the Rangers, very tight and rather scrappy at the moment. Well, that studious expression has given way to more animation ever since that penalty went in, or penalty award was given. Reyna with Johnson on the outside of him. Good defending there by Petrov. He's got the pace to come back very quickly. But I think both hands went up. Free kick. Ferguson seemed to take that right from Sutton's heel there. Good interception though by Vega. Albertz coming away with it. Flow in the box. Lennon going forward. There's Johnson. Flow. Once again he seemed to stumble, and this time with a cluster of players there, looked as if a hand was used. And the big Norwegian had to be sharper here to give some support as Johnson began to threaten.
Yeah, just the angle of the pass wasn't quite right to play Andre Torrey flow in, but again it was an encouraging move from Rangers. I think his build went against him there. A smaller squat player might have been able, like a Michael Moles might have been able to get that one under control.
Well, there's a clash of heads there as Wilson went in for that. Very hard clash of heads. High drooping ball. Yeah, there's blood in Wilson's head as well. There's the challenge there. Very, very late. Well, there's blood running down his cheek at the moment, but I think they've stemmed it all right. I think plaster more than anything else for him.
It's a typical centre of the pitch challenge. A centre half will always feel that he should go and try and win that ball there. May have been better served letting Henrik Larsson flick it on. There was no great danger.
Well, the man has been talking there. Billy Stark will be awarding his man of the match later on. Number is 09009 11550 09009 11550. And you can win a couple of tickets for the cup final itself, of course. Well, he'll have to go off if I think put a gun to his head, but it's a staple gun. You know, one of these things that makes you clench your teeth even thinking about it, but he's had to go off.
Yeah, and the modern day football, any sign of blood and you must leave the field and get it cleared up, so the Rangers physio need to do a quick patch-up job to get him back on the pitch.
And I think Larsson is about to come back on. He was stunned. I don't think there was any blood there, but he was stunned. And then he had just about to come back on. He's okay. Meanwhile, Rangers down to 10 men. No Wilson in centre of defence. Ferguson clears that there. Flo. Nice turn by Flo that time. It's had to be a free kick, and Mjallby. Lennon it was who came in very hard there. Didn't like that decision by the referee. No, he kept at him. Free kick, and Wilson has come back up. Still 2-1, and Michael Moles, I think, preparing to come on for Rangers. Here's Malcolm.
That looks like a decision that's maybe been made before the game, that Michael Moles will get the last half hour of the game.
Another free kick there, Tommy Boyd hard in. Yeah, in other words, he's budgeted for a change to be made round about now.
Yeah, I think he's looked at Michael Moles, he's got Sunday in mind as well, and he feels that, you know, half an hour would be to his benefit tonight.
Off comes Neil McCann, and on comes Michael Moles. The man still trying agonisingly hard to recover from that terrible injury he got to his cruciate ligaments in Munich over a year ago. Well, obviously that gives a little boost to that Rangers support there, and it goes, and beyond everybody, but no great challenge, I may say. Not the best free kick.
Well, that physical presence they have in the opposition box, they obviously have in their own box, and you know, any team trying to win headers in there is going to need to be right on top of their form.
Lennon away with it. Albertz. Now Celtic on the break. Larsson making the run. Konterman going with him. Only to Petrov. Running straight into Reyna this time. Well, you would have thought Rangers know all about this man here. Certainly gave them some nightmares after that game at Celtic Park.
Yeah, he was very instrumental in that blistering start that Celtic had at Celtic Park with a 6-2 win, and again coming back from suspension, he'll be looking to make an impression to get in the starting line-up for Sunday.
Well, Tom Boyd found himself in support. Very tight. Petrov trying to get a bit of freedom. Lennon, not such a good ball. Well, Lambert was annoyed. The contact was made by him, but his boot was up very high. Well, they were both at it. Kind of balletic movement there.
I think that's the type of challenge in olden days that would have just been wave play on in Scottish football, but it's more a continental trait that's crept into our game. But you know, certainly it's dangerous play.
Here's Malcolm steadying himself again. Michael Moles, beautiful turn on that time. Ferguson, Albertz tries to find Moles with it and does. There's throw to Celtic. Petrov read the danger. He was back very closely, identifying Moles in the penalty area.
It's almost unique, that ability of Moles to control the ball and shift his body weight fully onto the other foot and really sell the defender a dummy. But you know, that's maybe been instrumental in the type of injury that he got. It seems to be playing his mind a wee bit, I think.
Exactly, yeah. I think it's making it more difficult for him mentally to adjust to that. Straight to Lambert. Albertz. Free kick, I think a hand was used there.
We wondered when Alan Johnson came on if Dick Advocat was maybe going to play him in a forward area. I think he's certainly aware of Celtic's 3 midfield players in there, and so he's put Johnson in there to play off of the deeper one, Paul Lambert, and try and get forward and supplement the front two.
Here's Wilson. Rangers goalkeeper merely stabbing at it, but he gets it anyway. Here's Numan. Puts away by Mjallby. Here's Konterman. Yes, that's got to be a free kick. Lennon with what you might call determination.
A bit fortunate there, Konterman. He turned away and he wasn't aware of Chris Sutton's presence, and on another day Celtic could have had that ball nipped and away and attacking the Rangers goal.
Lennon coming in to defend. There's a chase on. Driven to Moles. Tries to get away from the 3 players. Does very well to get that ball back though. There goes Ferguson. Now Konterman. Yes, there'll be a booking that time. Alan Thompson in very heavily. Just went right through it.
It was a hefty challenge and just a bit late there. Alan Thompson, of course, sent off at Ibrox, and really wouldn't want to get himself into that situation again.
Here's Wilson coming off again. The referee has insisted he goes off to get that. Now it's a challenge for the medical staff at Ibrox. Has to put it back to the goalkeeper. They might play for a little bit of time here, Rangers, until they get Wilson back in the field. The danger is, Billy, for Rangers, every time he goes for the ball in the air, he's going to open that up.
Yeah.
He's going to need to go for it in the air.
Yeah.
There's Sutton. Better move there. Brilliant tackle by the youngster that time. Lennon puts it down. Good support work there. Wilson came back. Slipped into position beautifully. Flow. That'll be a free kick, and Mjallby is going to be talked to by the referee. A look of sheer innocence on the face there, and exasperation. Why me? That's why.
To be fair, I think it was
he had to go for it.
Yeah, I don't think there was a great deal in that, to be honest with you. And obviously there's been no booking, but I think you just have to pick yourself up and go on with it when that decision is given against you.
On to Johnson, neatly inside. Moles tries to come up. Johnson again. Albertz. Here's Reyna. Reyna might go for it himself. Too many jerseys in front of him. That's a free kick. I thought for a moment the referee, while he's pondering it, is he showing him the card? I think he is.
Yeah, it certainly looked as if he was going
Well, it looked as if.
Yeah.
It looked as if, to be perfectly honest, he didn't raise a flag at the yellow card to him.
It's maybe the final warning.
Offside on the far side. Now he put his hand in the top pocket, and looked as if he would book him, but I don't think he actually did. Yes, he didn't raise a card. Bowles. Konterman. Offside. Torrandry flow.
I think Rangers have just got a slight advantage at the moment territorially, but obviously there's not been any clear-cut chances created in this second half, and I think Celtic will be quite content just to see through the game like that.
Well, let me confirm, they have confirmed from the touchline that Johnson in fact was booked. There's Wilson getting away with it. Penalty awarded. A penalty awarded for that challenge by Wilson. Then it goes there and he's leaning into him, and the referee has awarded a penalty for that. Larsson burrowing his way in there, and Wilson putting the body right across him.
I think it was a penalty. I think it's very reminiscent of the penalty that Henrik Larsson won over in Bordeaux, and it's really that anticipation and electric quickness in the penalty box just to get in front of the defender. Scott Wilson didn't see him coming. He's committed to go for the ball, and it's resulted in the penalty for Celtic.
And I think he's going to book, well, certainly the goalkeeper's there and getting it. So Stefan Klos gets a yellow card for that. Stefan Klos booked for that, and the ball is lying away behind the goal line, and almost considerately Albertz goes after it, puts it back into the box.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those situations as a penalty taker, you don't want to stand about waiting too long. It might have been better for one of his teammates to retrieve the ball there and give Henrik Larsson time to make up his mind what he's going to do.
And this could put it beyond Rangers at this stage in the game. Larsson to take it. That's it. 3-1. And he's much more delighted now.
Yeah, he's gone for power and accuracy. Archie's kept it down low. Stefan Klos has guessed the wrong way, and he's tucked it in the corner there.
Almost a replica of Albertz's penalty himself. And now Rangers really have their very difficult task to pick this one up. Here's Konterman. Free kick. Reyna. Albertz to take this. On to Numan. It's still floating in there, and the goalkeeper watched it very carefully. It seemed to hover, and there they feel this game at this stage is won. 20 minutes to go, and they're 2 goals in front again. Straight to Lennon that time. Out to Flo. Here's Johnson. Johnson doing very well, but the final touch eludes him. Lennon again. Celtic once again clustering very effectively in defence. There's Mjallby. Konterman has to play it out. Man of the match, of course. You can phone in 09009 115500 09009 115500. Petrov. Looking back on that challenge by Wilson, I don't think that was necessary. Larsson running away from goal.
Definitely not, actually. It was a case of he thought he had the ball under control. All of a sudden Larsson's on his shoulder with his physical presence, and he's really been spooked a wee bit and felt that he needs to get the ball away.
Oh, that was Henry Flo going up high, and Mjallby got involved with them. Now the referee will have to sort this one out. I was looking at Henry Flo for that challenge, but it's just a gentle word to him. He went up to get in there. The boot was up very high. No action was taken by the referee that time. Larsson. Oh, that could have gone through to the goalkeeper. Away goes Ferguson. That's a good ball to Albertz. Now Ferguson. Numan. Poor effort there eventually by Numan. Lambert goes with him. Plays it in very well, and I think if Moles hadn't got to that, Flo was lying behind him in a better position.
We'll see it in the replay here. Michael Moles just maybe a wee bit earlier across the front post, but Flo was going behind him. Where the Celtic defender would have got ahead on it, we'll never know. But how after Numan got the ball back there, it looked as if he'd run out of play, but he whipped a tremendous ball back. And Michael Moles, as all good strikers do, across the front post.
Here's Konterman. Now at this stage of the game, such slackness is inexcusable.
Yeah, I mean he's that type of build that whenever he does that sort of thing, it looks terrible, and it's something that's been part of his game since he's come to Rangers. I think he's certainly improved.
Petrov trying to get up on it. That's a decent enough ball. Numan having to concede the corner kick because he realised the man with a tremendous spring was just behind him.
Yeah, he's certainly improved, Konterman, in recent times at Ibrox, but at this stage of the game, that's the last thing you want. It really just kills any momentum that you're trying to build, and indeed it's given Celtic the initiative in the shape of a corner kick here.
Dangerous one put in again, and look, Vega. How many opportunities has this Rangers defence given this man by simply sheer rank bad marking? Look at that.
Yeah, he comes off his marker and gets himself into a position where he's got a free header. I think he's up just a wee touch too early and he can't really get any power on the header, but again it's another great chance.
Larsson comes off, he's played his part. I think that may be an indication that they feel this game is won.
Well, I think it's also an indication that we have another big game coming up on Sunday, and we have a 2-goal cushion. He feels that he can take Henrik Larsson off and introduce Lubomir Moravcik.
Down to Flo. Here's Numan. And Johnson, very tight again. Konterman. And you're right, I think the momentum's gone.
It certainly has. I mean,
once again, it's across the field.
I mean, I think they had territorial advantage when Celtic got that goal, but they look as if they've lost a wee bit of confidence from losing that goal, and a 2-goal deficit with 15 minutes to go. In normal circumstances would be too much, but of course we never know what to expect in Old Firm games.
Well, it's apart from anything about technique and tactics, it's about spirit, and playing with a cause, and the grimness of this man, I think, reflected away down at the other end amongst the Rangers support. Again, a slag pass there by Ferguson. Here's Vega. Not exactly pleasantries being exchanged from one end of the park to the other.
It's quite amazing when we talked about the game being talked down. There's certainly been no sign of that in the skirmishes that we've seen both on the pitch and the touchline.
Good Johnson. Lennon keeping his eye on the ball. Now Reyna. Can't get the opening. Tries to go in again, and two Rangers players getting in a bit of a fankle. I think a real disappointment for Rangers tonight is Torandri Flo. Marking slackman. There's Henrik Larsson, by the way, getting I think an ice pack to his aid. Bad marking for that first goal, and simply not sharp enough in laying the ball off.
Well, I think in that situation there, Claudio Reyna is difficult, but he has to try, whether it's through his own dribbling ability or whether movement round about him to get into an area that he can get across into the penalty box, because Celtic will get that middle area bottled up, and they're wanting Rangers to play balls into feet there, because they know they can gobble them up and start to think about hitting them in the break.
Thompson, and that'll be a free kick, yes. And it may well be at this stage that they've got to give it to the man with an explosive left foot.
I don't think there's any doubt who's hitting this one. Albertz has got a great record in terms of scoring against Celtic, and a lot of them from free kicks, and it's on the right side for him, I think, to get curl and power on this ball. Jonathan Gould will be very wary about this one.
An important moment for Rangers. You can see the time ticking away from them. Albertz coming up. Here's Johnson with it, and that's an appalling finish. Yes, they're lacking that sharpness, which is so vital at this level. May well be looking at him again. Did he try to place it away up to the top left?
It was actually a difficult ball to hit, to be fair, and George Albertz surprises here, because I know Celtic have a lot of bodies in front of the ball, but even the power that he has, a deflection can maybe present somebody with a chance. And really, I was very surprised that he squared it there.
Back to the keeper. Didn't like that one at all. Albertz, Konterman. There goes Lennon, just lays it off very nicely. Thompson was giving support. Moravchik. Now he has the ability to hold the ball up at this juncture in the game.
He's so two-footed, Moravchik, that he presents problems for defenders. They don't know what way he's going to go, and particularly when he's on in a game and he's fresh, and he's got plenty in his legs, and really inventive as well.
Well, the two of them could have gone for that, with Petrov there and Sutton. Here's Albertz. Trying to find Johnson with it. And it goes towards Moles, and Mjallby's there. Ball still in play. Ferguson. Well, the 10 minutes to go, the 2 goals down, and they give the ball away as easily to the opposition. Referee says play on again. Well, there's Albertz going in heavily this time, and Albertz will be booked. So the 6th booking. Oh yeah, very late indeed.
Yeah, it's a definite booking. He really has to make contact with the ball when he goes into that type of challenge. But to be handshake with Paul Lambert there, certainly no recriminations.
He's done it hard tonight. He comes back trying to play his way into the team. Opposition not making it easy for him. Thompson decided not to whip it in this time. But a holding there by Ferguson, who walks rather sheepishly away as if he had done nothing. They call that the half Nelson.
I think Barry Ferguson's suffering from the spell in the first half where, you know, as captain,
Ferguson gets a booking.
He tries to drive Rangers on and really very tired looking now, and you know, that's been evident in the couple of slack balls that he's gave away, which really isn't like him.
Thompson can whip in brilliant balls from another time intervention. Lovely ball to the outside. Can he get it over first time? Celtic beginning to take command again. Corner kick given, I think. No free kick.
There is always round about the ball.
And it goes, little touch there, and that's a goal kick. That's a little touch down, and now tries to get that on towards Torandry Flo. There goes Ferguson. Can't get it through again. Celtic on the last line have always seemed to have that extra man.
I think it's interesting reflecting on it that if you look at the Old Firm games this season, the opening goal in every game has come from a set piece. And really, you know, that's the type of thing that you maybe should be working on.
Mjallby, he can't get it there, and that's going to be a corner kick though. What is it? Not a goalkeeper. Makes it a throw-in. Certainly sprinted out very well. There's Mjallby. Can use that left foot of his as well, of course. Lennon round the side. Mjallby simply holding the ball down at the corner. Numan. Once again, it's easily taken away from Torandry Flo. Ball out of play. All credit to the way Celtic started this game very quickly, but yet again a contributory factor, very poor defending by Rangers.
Very much so, and again that's been a feature of the previous two games where either side have defended poorly and really paid the price for it in terms of a heavy beating. You know, 5 minutes to go here, Rangers haven't looked potent at all in the second half. They've not really created a chance to speak of, and you know, I think you have to wonder if the game's over.
You don't have to wonder all that deeply, Billy, I have to say.
Well, stranger things have happened in Old Firm games.
Look at this. Ball put back to Wilson. Trying to race back into his own half for it. Is the game over, you said? Has been ever since Scotland. Albertz. Stroking it through the middle. All they need to do now, Celtic, of course, is keep possession. We could chase after another one. Numan. Moles. Here's Reyna. Good flow. Couldn't get it back sharply enough.
Talking about flow earlier, I just wonder if he's obviously came from a very a league that's full of quality. Although he hasn't played that many times from the start down there, and I think really, if we're looking to make excuses for him, lack of match fitness and just that wee sharpness just hasn't been there, and he really needs to get games under his belt in order to get that.
Well, I'll buy that one for the moment, Billy. Low, laying it off. Numan. Ferguson. Low tries again. There's Michael Moles. Well, I think the Michael Moles pre-Munich would have buried that.
Yeah, it was a good chance, and normally a volley is his speciality. It's really about getting his body into the right position to get over the ball and get on target. You see that there. Perhaps Mjallby falling back towards him has done enough just to put him off, but certainly you would expect Michael Moles in top form to put that one away.
Way down the side it goes. There's been a little bit of trouble down at one end, but been sorted out. Reyna in with it, not effectively, and that's a save by Gould. I think Michael Moles may have got a touch there that's pushed through, and it was actually a back pass.
That was unfortunate. It was good presence of mind by Jonathan Gould to try and set Mjallby away.
3 minutes of stoppage time. Now player of the match, Billy. Last night there was no doubt about it. Did you have any difficulty tonight?
Well, I think, obviously Celtic having won the game, and I think deservedly. I think you would look for the player of the match to come from that side, and I make no apologies. It's Henrik Larsson. I think Neil Lennon's had a cracking game in the middle of the pitch for them, but Henrik Larsson,
well, there's a really hard tackle again, and they're going in heavy, and they've lost their temper. Oh, there's another push by Lennon, and it's ending disgracefully, this. It really is. You wouldn't believe that some people said this game was meaningless to these two sets of players. Well, there's the rather dramatic and untidy evidence. It started by that desperate tackle by Reyna, who's been sent off, rather compounding the misery for Rangers tonight. And then it got very unpleasant, and it's Mjallby who's off for Celtic. Mjallby's been sent off after that tussle that went on there. What else is happening here? Has the referee finished? There he is, making his way like a predator towards the man. And counsel for the defence, Michael Moles, wasn't listened to. So 2 players off, and Michael Moles is off. Michael Moles is off as well.
think just about every outfield player was involved. I think we could be
Well,
forgiven
I'll tell you what, there are one or two players still in the field who should have gone off as well, because arms were raised. And they're still arguing. Here's Petrov. Thompson. That was late. And Numan. And you know, I think it is. You would take the stature of a team from the way they accept defeat. I'm afraid it's rather plummeted.
There's a certain loss of discipline there. There's absolutely no doubt of it. Even after Numan coming and belt the ball high into the Celtic end there, suggests that he's less than happy with the way things have gone. But you're quite right. It's not the way to vent your feelings on the pitch.
Here's Sutton coming off, and I think Tommy Johnson's coming on.
I was talking just before that unsavoury incident, Archie, and Henrik Larsson, the man of the match. I think Neil Lennon's played very well tonight. Celtic have had some good performers, but Larsson, he must have a house full of man of the match awards. But you know, you would have to be fair and say that, you know, he scored that vital second goal, which I think effectively won the game for Celtic.
Lambert. Numan. Larsson is the man of the match. Well, I've seen many an old firm game, and I've seen superb matches, debacles, and the victory goes to Celtic. They're in the final, they play Kilmarnock. But I have to say, it's a final that has left bad taste in the mouth, unedifying scenes. Ecstasy for that support there, but for anybody wishing this game to aspire to greatness, badly marred at the end by lack of discipline. And Stefan Klos is an old mate of Paul Lambert from the Borussia Dortmund game. They're arguing with each other about some of the aggravation that went on through the game.
It's a shame the game ended in such a fashion. I mean, there was lots of good things in the game. Obviously, Celtic will be delighted to be in another cup final, and obviously got the psychological edge, I think, for Sunday's big league meeting. The ramifications of the sending off, I'm not just quite sure how that stands in terms of availability for Sunday, but you know, it may be that tonight's events, even apart from losing the game, Rangers may feel the effect of it even as far into Sunday.
Well, there we are, it's no doubt about it. They are fortified in the belief that they're heading towards a treble, and Sunday, of course, as Billy suggested, is going to be an enormously important game for both clubs now, as the spectators drift away.